So I am the Chief Product Officer. I'm responsible for all of our products. And as you mentioned, what we do is essentially reinvent how people in debt are being treated. Our mission as a company is to make sure that nobody is left out of the financial system. And we're starting by changing the way debt collection is done. I tend to say that I work in the least sexy space of fintech, but it's also the space that needs the most help. So what we do is we have a very complex system where we reach out to people who are in debt to through digital channels, through a very consumer-friendly interface, and help them through this difficult process of resolving their debts. And we do that on behalf of large clients of ours who are the ones who are trying to get those consumers to resolve their debts. So I run the product team, product operations, I run the design team, I also run the content team, because what we do is we have a AI-driven system that's deciding for each consumer, what's the best message to send? What's the tone of voice that will resonate with them? So we have an entire team that's writing different versions of the content for the messages that go out to the consumers, so that we can improve and iterate through our AI what is going to resonate with each one of them. It's interesting because I've been leading product organizations for over 20 years, and I've seen the evolution of product leadership, and I would say it's very, very exciting. When I first started my career in product management essentially reported under marketing. In some places, it reported under engineering, which is even worse. But over time, product companies realized that the role of product was very critical, and that it should not live under marketing and be too pushed by sales and marketing, nor under engineering and be too focused to the technical side, that it should be a department in itself and really be the one representing the customer inside the company. And that's when product management became a separate department. And what's really exciting about what's happened in the last couple of years is that now the product leader is at the C-level. Up until, I would say, 5 years ago, you would see VPs, SVPs of product, but you had the CMO, the CTO, the CFO. Now that's changed, and you're seeing the emergence of chief product officers. And I'd say it is a different role than the VP of product. A chief product officer is a key member of the executive team, and their primary focus has to be the one that provides the nexus between the business goals, the business mission, and the product strategy, and how the product is going to help deliver on that mission that the company has.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's sometimes hard to maybe kind of distinguish them two roles, but obviously there needs to be that distinction. There needs to be that difference. Yeah, it's interesting to obviously touch on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of VPs of products, you're still very focused on the product and the strategy for the product and the execution of the product. When you move to CPO, you need to start looking at the strategy of the company. Nidhi Bismandu just gave a great presentation on being a great CPO. And one of the things she highlights, and I totally agree with her, is that your primary team is the executive team. You're not just the leader of the product organization. You're a key member of the executive team, and jointly with the executive team, you really need to help drive the strategy of the business. So it's a much broader role. Yeah, and I love that question because I love that scale-up stage. It's like what I call the teenage stage. So during the startup stage, the team is still trying to get to product market fit. You have a small team, they need to be doing a lot of different things. They all are collaborating together, and they are really iterating as fast as they can to get to product market fit. But once you get to product market fit, and now you need to scale, you also need to start becoming much more effective at scaling. And that means your product organization needs to start evolving and maturing. It's the time where you need to start organizing them. Right? In my opinion, by areas of the product is an ideal way. You need to work very closely with engineering. You need to align how engineering is organized with how product is organized. You need to start building the squads that can take more ownership of areas of the product and be the ones that are empowered to iterate and improve those areas. And you need to start looking ahead as to what are the other areas that you're going to need. You may, as a product leader, you need to start building out new teams to address new pieces of the product that you know need to evolve, or even as you start expanding your product portfolio. So you really need to move from that small group, all working together, chaotic but very agile, to something that really scales and it's better thought out. One thing about my career is I've moved to very different industries. And every time I moved to a new industry, I had a steep learning curve to understand the industry. I love learning, so that was kind of something exciting for me to go to new industries. But I probably would say that with TrueML, it's been one of the steepest learning curves because I had not been in fintech before, and certainly the debt resolution space is very complex and it's incredibly regulated. So being able to come in and start helping the product team evolve while also starting to become much more knowledgeable about the fintech industry in general and the complexities of debt collection in particular has clearly been one of the toughest things. But the way to do it is surround yourself with the information that's most helpful. One thing that I started doing is I listen to a lot of fintech podcasts. I'm getting a lot of newsletters. I'm going out to some of the fintech conferences because right now, what I need to learn is more about the industry. I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm doing on the product side. But for me to really guide my team, the more I can understand our industry, the better I can be. And we have a lot of domain experts inside our company. So this is the other thing I do try to leverage and learn from them. But as long as you're open to learning and willing to just kind of jump in, I think that that's something that product people can overcome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of bringing more diversity. I think that companies do better when they have diversity. From a product perspective, if you have diverse views, diverse inputs, you are going to create better products. I think that the challenge has been that overall, in technology in general, from the early stages, there's not enough diversity. We need to encourage more minorities and more women to start in tech companies, so in tech careers, so that there's more of a pipeline. But what I've also seen, and that's one of the reasons why I'm part of Leading Women in Technology, is that women who may have started successfully in a career seem to get stuck much more so than their peers. And part of it is because of traditional priorities that companies have or believe that men can be better. But part of it is self-imposed because of the way women have been led to think about themselves. So what we do in this Women in Technology program is we try to teach them the skills to become more self-confident, more self-assertive, and to look at what they need to do to really progress. So to your question of what we need to do, we need to do things at many different levels. We need to start early on with education and attracting diversity and women to tech. And then we need to really support those people as they progress in their careers so that they can get to the higher levels. And of course, I'm from Colombia, so I'm very excited about seeing Latin American people start getting more into leadership roles, and there aren't that many. I think that the true success of many companies, of many tech companies, is based on the product being successful, the product delivering the value that it's promised to its customers. And for that to really happen, you want this product-led growth. You want to be defining the product based on truly understanding what the customers want, not what sales needs or what the stakeholders need. Really understanding how is this product going to deliver the most value to those customers that you're trying to serve. How can you improve on that based on what the customers need, not based on some of the other things that surround that? And I think that that's, in my opinion, what product-led growth does. It puts the focus back on who are those customers that you're trying to serve with your product, and how can you focus on them first.